Okay, hi everyone. We got Nikhil here. Nikhil,
Hi everyone.
congratulations. Hi everyone. Nikhil, you converted LBS.
Right.
Great. So London Business School guys, we've got Nikhil who's converted London. How does it feel? Yeah. How does it feel?
It feels really good. So LBS is one of the top colleges, and it was what I was aiming for.
Okay.
And I'm really enthusiastic to join the college
Okay.
and excited for the new journey.
That's amazing. So you're going for the MIM degree?
Yeah, MIM degree.
What's the LBS ranking right now for MIM?
For MIM, it's third.
Okay.
And overall B school ranking is sixth.
Okay, lovely. Third in
Across
the
the
world.
globe.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. That's amazing. So Nikhil, great, yeah. I want to just help all our viewers. Like, how was your interview? How did your interview went, and what was the process followed throughout?
Right. So this interview was quite different from the other interviews I've given. And the interviewer was an alumni of the MIM program from 2012. And it was super chill. It was more about our personal lives. It was more about myself, and it was more like a conversation. So there was no pressure throughout the interview. It was just two people talking, having tea,
Okay.
and
For
it
having
was
tea?
quite good.
They
Yeah,
offered it to you and you said yes?
yes, I did. I mean,
Oh.
it's in professional life, it's a good courtesy.
Oh, lovely. So if they ask for tea, you can say yes. Okay.
You
So don't
should say.
You should say yes. That's amazing. So, okay, starting with the tea. I mean, when you entered the room, how was it? Was it a cabin? How was it?
So this interview was conducted in the office of alumni. He works for a global business school, and it was in one of the conference rooms. So the conference room was quite comfortable, and it was in Kurla, that's near my campus in Powai. And they made me really comfortable. I was like their client, wherein I was asked for tea, coffee, water, and even the alumni was super chill, and he was talking with me like a friend. So yeah, it was very comfortable, cozy,
Okay.
and the best environment to be yourself.
That's great. So, guys, there are two best ways to get the best out of you. Okay, the number is the stressed out way. The Indian way, if you go to IIMs also sometimes or NMIMS etc., they rip you off and they're going to ask you some questions which they just say, okay. In fact, it's called a stress interview. The other way is how Nikhil's interview went or how my Oxford interview went. It was really smooth. I remember we had a talk regarding
Yeah,
the same.
that's true.
So yeah, so they will make you feel, give you coffee, tea, you ask for it, so it went smooth. How are the questions when you entered the room? What kind of questions you were pouring in?
So the general type of questions were to determine whether I know myself and whether I know what I'm doing or what I'm going to do. So the first question was, what were the top three learnings in the past 4 years, which is my college life. The other question was, which was the biggest risk I've taken in the last 4 years.
I want to know this answer. Which is the biggest risk you've taken?
So it was during my placements, and I had rejected an offer to interview a company, and that was the biggest risk. So the offer which I had gotten was quite premium, and it was one of the sought after offers. Whereas the chance in getting selected in the interviews for the other company were quite less. But still, I took that risk. That was a big risk, and I don't regret it. It has made me learn only. I've grown as a person, and that's what my final goal is.
So you left a company for some other company. That's what you're
Right.
trying to say. Okay, that was the biggest. He was happy with this answer.
He was quite happy with the answer because he was startled with the type of companies, the names which I took, and
Which was those names? I mean, you can tell us.
yeah. So I had sort of rejected the offers of Bain and A.T. Kearney,
Okay, lovely.
and this was for a company called Blackstone. It's a private equity firm.
Great. That's the biggest risk, and it's actually a risk, you know. So that's lovely. And how did the interview panelist was taking it, and how the interview went forward?
So the interview panelist was he was quite impressed with the kind of risk I had taken, because it really takes guts to reject an offer and go forward with the interviews to the dream and sought after company where you know the chances are not that good. He was quite impressed. He told me a few experiences of his friends in the same companies, but they were in London Business School, so the environment is a bit different there. And he sort of appreciated me because the way I was talking was quite smooth, and it was quite fine tuned, specially prepared for consulting, and he could notice it easily.
Lovely, lovely. So the interview was more of a conversation in which he started giving his own examples about his friends and his colleagues at LBS, right?
Yes.
That's amazing. That's I always say that. So interviews have to be a conversation. What Nikhil also experienced in the LBS interview. Great.
True.
And how did it move forward then?
So after that, we went on to the questions, which will basically judge how you are going to perform in LBS. And when it comes to global B schools, there's a lot of diversity. And in MIM, in London Business School, you'll be forming a case group with 4 other students in the same batch. Now, these 4 students will be from different nationalities, from different undergrad majors, and there will be a lot of difference in your point of views. So, the question was, how are you going to adjust to this? What are the pros and what are the cons of this system? And what do you think of it? So, that was one question for which you had to think really hard before answering. And it shows how you can think on your feet and sort of perform in the worst scenarios and take the best out of it.
That's great. Was it like a wow moment in which like he was jumping off the seat and he was like, okay, I want Nikhil in here? Or was it like a really wow moment? I call it a spike in the interview.
Right, it was. So after the interview ended, he frankly gave me the feedback that yours was, in the top 2 interviews out of the 10 which I've conducted in the last 3 years. So I was quite excited after that. And yes, so we also had a few personal connects. Our profiles matched, our family, businesses, and our GMAT scores matched as well. So
okay, the GMAT scores matched as well. Okay.
So he was super enthusiastic, and our views on entrepreneurship also matched. So we had a great connect there.
Okay, so did you guys discuss entrepreneurship, startup? I know LBS is big on entrepreneurship too.
Yeah, we did. So he was telling his experience that after he passed out from LBS, what kind of startups he did. And we also discussed on the general attitude and mindset which an entrepreneur should have, so that it ensures success, or it at least ensures satisfaction in whatever you're doing.
Okay, that's great. And any like dips in the interview where you thought like, yeah, never away types?
There was.
Okay.
So there was one question which I told, the top 3 learnings in your undergraduate life. So I told him 3 learnings, but later on when I thought over it, I could think of better things which I could have easily said. And
what were the 3 learnings you spoke about?
So I spoke about hard work and conviction. I spoke about communication, and the third one I don't remember.
Yeah, he doesn't remember. Okay, these are general ones, but once you make it for sure. What's your advice to all these people? They want to go to London Business School, Oxford Side Business School, Harvard, Stanfords of the world. When we were preparing together, you've come a long way. I can see the change in you now. You've converted to the college. What are the few tips you want to tell them? Like, yaar, ye padh lo, focus on these things when you go for these interviews.
Right. So for B schools, you have a profile and you have interviews, right? So let's talk about them individually. For the profile, first of all, you need GMAT. Please get a good GMAT score. It always helps to have a good GMAT score. For the profile, highlight the best things that you have done in college. If you have time, do things which will look good on your profile and which will help you develop as a person. In the interview side, you should be yourself. You should know what you're doing and you should know why you're doing it. So that's really important, because when you are asked probing questions, you're able to answer them if you are very clear about these 2 things: why you're doing it and what is it going to give you, what's the output from it.
Yeah, that's a lovely one. I always say that even if you are not focused in life, you've done multiple things, sound very focused that day. And you know your stuff very well. Later on we can see, but your story of life should be very well connected throughout, right?
It should be. You should always be thoughtful. That helps.
Okay, that's lovely. By the way, here's Nikhil. Nikhil has rejected I'm Bangalore and I'm Calcutta, and he has not even gone for the interviews, and now he's at London Business School. Guys, I always say, think big, think high. Thank you, Nikhil. Thank you so much for joining in, and all the best for all the interviews.
All the best to you guys as well.
All right, lovely. Thank you. And Nikhil, once you go to LBS or some other top college, would you be able to come and help all these people who are preparing with us?
Sure, you can reach out to me on Facebook, Messenger, I'm always ready to help.
All right, lovely, great. Thank you so much, Nikhil, for joining in again. He's going to go to Harvard and Stanford interviews also, and I'm going to bring him back again to train you guys also for the GDPI. Thank you, Nikhil. Thanks again. Bye-bye.